Double
Is
check.
the camera on?
The camera is on.
Recording.
Yeah.
I swear to fuck if these microphones don't work again, we're actually going to have some major issues, Riley. I'm telling you right now. If another podcast mic fucks
Everything
up,
is good to go. What happens?
the podcast is done. Fuck all the social media. Fuck everyone who was invested and wanted to listen. One more time these mics don't work, I'm peacing out.
You were so...
He can run it on his own.
I will have to. I'll have to get everyone on besides my girlfriend.
I will now only
help.
just be a guest feature.
You are a guest feature and this will become my podcast.
Welcome back to episode number 2 of the Unfiltered 20's.
Do you have to say it like that?
Yeah, the accent actually hits. Anyway,
It's not even an accent.
it's all about exploring the experiences, challenges, and joys of navigating life through your 20's. Fuck, I'm good.
Wow, you're
Honestly.
amazing.
What the fuck is that? I've impressed
a high
myself.
five?
I've gone above and beyond.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
that's me done for the whole ep.
you don't have
You
to
can
talk
take
anymore
it.
today.
Yeah.
We'll take it
I've
from
carried
here.
my weight.
Okay. And then today we are talking about the shifts from going from your high school sport into after high school and figuring it all out after that, right?
Yeah, just like body transformations, mental transformations, I guess like physical and emotional well-being. I guess it's like summed
Today
up.
we're going to talk about physical and emotional well-being.
There you go.
There you go. That's a nice way to sum it up.
I'm really on a roll.
Really on a roll.
These microphones better be fucking working. I swear to God. I swear to God. The careers one was really good. I'm really sad about the careers one. I honestly think that we should post that one. Just, even though it's just the fucking video because the fucking mics weren't working.
Yeah.
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 Eh.
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 No,
No,
that's not your call.
That's not you.
No, don't come to me. I don't want you. No, I don't want you. Arlo, what have you got to say?
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, to start us off, why don't you just tell us about what your high school sport was and your mentality towards it at that point in time?
So I did like a bunch of sports growing up, like could not find my place, did not really click with anything until I was 11, and then I found cheerleading. And then I was a competitive all-star cheerleader from 11 until I think I quit doing the sport when I was 19, but continued coaching it until I was 21. And it was a huge part of like who I was growing up. Like I was in that gym 7 days a week, pretty much that entire time. Like if it wasn't 7 days, it was 6 days. And it was like I would walk from school to cheer training, start at 3:30, finish at 9:30, go home, sleep. Sometimes I'd go to like CrossFits on 6 a.m. trainings on a Monday or Sunday. Like I was invested, highly invested, very fit, very mentally invested. If I say invested again, honestly, I'm going to cut myself off.
Okay.
I was invested, in case anyone didn't get that. Just straight investment.
You're rambling.
Not rambling. I know.
No,
But
yeah.
no. My
So-
cheerleading career was my childhood fitness. That's me, honestly. Why the fuck am I still talking? I actually am rambling.
Yeah. And that's why that's kind of what you chose as like, you know, you had your academic at school and you did ATAR and you did all of that, studied hard went to school, did what you had to do to get by.
Yeah.
But then, you know, your physical and, you know, health in terms of
Fitness.
sport and fitness, you took up
Cheerleading.
cheerleading.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were quite committed and invested. Just for everyone's kind of scope of 7 days a week, where and how long were these places that you went to?
So I started cheerleading with this company because they moved to Malaga. So Malaga's like 5 minutes down the road from here.
Yeah,
And
close.
so, yeah, I was there like 5-6 days a week, probably within my first year. And then within my second year, I was invited to be on the world's team that trained in Port Kennedy.
Yeah.
And so in that second year, I did 4 days a week in Port Kennedy because we trained Monday mornings CrossFit, Sunday mornings was like AM training, Tuesday and Thursday nights was like our normal training nights, and we were training for America, so like it was hectic. And then the other 3 days of the week I was in Malaga, still training on my other teams or classes, whatever I was doing at the time. And so as that progressed, the days between Malaga and Port Kennedy kind of alternated and switched up, but then eventually they ended up closing the Malaga branch, so I was full-time in Port Kennedy until they opened their Bellevue branch, which is where I pretty much just coached when that was open.
Yeah. And just for everyone who doesn't live in Perth, how far is Port Kennedy from, let's say, where you are now? Or where you live?
Without traffic, like an hour and 20 minutes. With traffic, sometimes like up to 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
On the way home, you could get home in an hour with my speed.
And how many speeding fines has that caused?
Almost all my demerits, but we're in the clear.
You're in the clear now. You're all good.
I think.
But yeah, so you committed to a, hour 20 drive there, hour back, so 2 hours of driving.
More, I would say it was like 3 hours.
3 hours per day.
With because we would get caught in after school traffic. Like you were trying to get down there to start at 4 p.m. 5 p.m.
And at one point you were taking the train as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were taking the train after school, all the way to Port Kennedy, just to train for how long? 2 hours?
Well, I would do coaching first, so pretty much the moment I walked in the door, the classes had already started. Like, I'd go straight on to whatever team I was on.
Yep.
And then, go straight into my coaching class, training class. That's the one.
Training class.
How about yourself, your childhood sport career?
My childhood sports career, like yourself, I did try a few. I did martial arts. I did little athletics for a little bit, kind of just basic stuff, learning to use my body, gather some coordination. But it wasn't until I moved schools, primary schools, in year 4 that I picked up footy and volleyball. And in that year, I was still pretty clumsy, I'd say. I wasn't the quickest, I wasn't the fastest. I didn't really have much coordination until I hit puberty the year after, which was in year 6. Like end of year 5, year 6 is when I started to be able to play like good football and good volleyball. And at that point... If your
laptop turns off, is that going to be an issue?
No, it won't.
Okay, I'm really worried about these mics.
Really worried.
It's okay, we're fine, I'm trusting.
And at that point, I was doing pretty well for footy. Let's say I was playing for Kingsway, and year 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 I was getting pretty good, like MVPs.
Yeah.
Just doing Subi development by year 9 and 10. But at the same time I was doing volleyball, and I was asked in year 7 to start training for WA. So I was just kind of something that I picked up because my parents played volleyball, and I still play volleyball today. But it's just something they picked up, and I was like, you know what, I'll give this a go. And went to a training ever since I stopped playing until I started playing states.
Fair enough.
And I went to states 3 years in a row, I think, or 3-4 times, year 7, 8, 9 and 10. And then I kind of I stopped at that point after that. In terms of play, like I kind of worked on ATAR quite a bit, stayed at school, stayed in my studies and tackled that without so much going on outside of it and after school.
Life just took a different course.
Life did just take a different course, and my parents kind of had an impact on that, where they were like, oh, you should take your education seriously, and I didn't think I had enough time during the week to be able to do both. But in retrospect, I feel like I could have. Yeah. I could have done both. Like I could have taken my volleyball a lot more seriously at that point, 11 and 12, and still do ATAR. I think it was just kind of, I was not confused, but my parents' influence was like, you can only really do one or the other.
I'm gonna sneeze.
You're gonna sneeze?
Wait, it's kind of leaving, but then it's coming back. Wait. No. Anyway.
Yeah.
Talking about puberty, so you said that when you hit puberty you got a lot better.
Yeah.
I firmly believe in like the fact that everyone pretty much goes through like a second puberty.
Second puberty? So
like watching everyone as a coach and even as an athlete, like I don't know as much for boys, but 110% every female, like obviously a female goes through puberty between like, let's say ranges from like 10 to 15 years old, right? When your body develops, everything comes in, things start gushing out. Puberty.
Yeah.
But
puberty.
then when you're watching from the sidelines or, you know, just taking things in, especially in a sports setting, everyone when they hit 16, 17, 18, their bodies would completely change again. And you would see tiny little flyers that have been flying for 10 years of their careers shoot up by like 2 feet and grow out and change like muscle builds and completely reach like... I've seen a bunch of people go through what we call in cheerleading mental blocks because their body just changes so much so quickly that they don't have the same body control, or they need to relearn body control all over again to get back the skills that they once had. And like, I think that can also make a huge difference on your physical and mental well-being, because like nobody really talks about like that. You know, as a female that that's coming for you when you're younger, but like you never, like it's not a common thing that's spoken or like, you know, heard about. Is like, I don't know how true my facts are here, but I firmly believe that there is some sort of like second puberty. But I guess on the same sense, it's just like a female's hormones are constantly like ever changing, and it literally impacts our weight, our, you know, fluid hold, our fucking, what's it called? Fertility, our hair. Like your hair can thin and thicken depending on the hormones in your body at that time. Your nail strength.
You guys go through a lot of changes. A lot of changes. I'm not sure what you mean by a second puberty though. Like, isn't that just the first one? The first one's supposed to happen around like 13 to 18. I think I just
refer to it as that. Because it's literally like, you can look at someone and be like, you know, they've gone through puberty. Like, that girl got some tits on her chest, right? But she could still be this thin in the waist. And then all of a sudden, she hits 17, and all of a sudden, her hips go out like this. She goes up like this. Her, like, the mentality changes. The physicality changes. Like, she might have been keep using the flyers as reference because it's kind of just the easier thing to do, but like literally you'll just watch them like go from having all this experience and knowledge and knowing how to hold their body to just not knowing how to control the body that they're now within.
It's a different body now.
It's completely changed. And it literally happens to everyone. Like every athlete I've ever coached, you watch it happen. And they hit 17 and, you know, some of them don't regress as much because it might be more minimal, but like their body changes. They fully change 110% hands down. Yeah,
okay. I can relate to that on a football level, where there was a few boys that hit puberty and then started experiencing a lot of growth pain. So they were fine before they hit puberty and shot up, but then as soon as they did shoot up, they grew up quite quickly. So around 16, 17, they started experiencing like knee pains, back pains, and just because their body just grew at such a rapid pace and they couldn't keep up with it. And when you train for footy, you kind of just do the same thing over and over again. You don't like do the small rehab stuff to counteract the growth.
Yeah, especially when you're young. Nobody thinks about it because
especially when
bounces
you're young.
Back.
You show up for training, you kick the footy around, you go for your runs, but you don't do those little things that are important and prevent those growing pains at that point in time. You just try and keep up with everyone else. I
had growing pains so bad that I used to have to hang off of like a chin-up bar for like literally, it was supposed to be like 5 minutes a day. I maybe did it for 2 weeks. But yeah, I had it held bad in my like knees and hips. Yeah. But mine's also because I had hypomobility disorder. So like every time I grew, my joints really didn't know how to handle it. Yeah. Not that I grew a whole lot really. Yeah. But when I did.
Yeah. And looking in retrospect, like I feel like at that level, at junior level, there should be more care taken in regards to growing.
Yeah, but there's also not a whole lot, like, because I saw a doctor about it, and it's literally like, you just need to stretch that part of your body out, and the only way to do that, pretty much in every sense of growing pain, is hang. You need a dead weight hang. And so, like, what's a sporting club going to do? Like, tell you to all line up and hold on to a bar and hang there for 10 minutes? Like,
yeah. Like they should like go through more stretching, go through more rehab stuff. Like we only started doing that type of rehab and conditioning when we got to like, 17, 18, 19, when you started playing for Subi and all of that.
I do believe that stretching should be more invested in those like in all
Those early
sports,
days.
honestly. I mean, with cheerleading, like we stretch at the beginning of every single class and for quite a long time, and like it's good, it's thorough, and like you know your limits. You can feel each day like a definite difference in your muscles and your body, and like, you know, it's a great way to start the lesson. But yeah, things like football, even when I did little athletics, like even dancing, like we used to train our splits, but I don't remember doing a proper like stretch out of your muscles and understand all of that stuff.
Same for volleyball as well. Like we had like a warm-up and a cool down, but it was very minimal, very basic stuff until we got to states where we would go through specific conditioning stuff.
I guess that kind of just comes from like inexperienced coaches as well, because when you think about it, those junior football coaches are dads. Volunteer dads.
Dads who are coaching the team.
You can't really blame them, but it probably could and should be like a club-wide, like, you know, print it out, put it on a freaking laminated sheet, give one to each coach and be like, this is the club-wide warm-up and stretching regime. If you don't understand anything, ask this bloke over here.
Yeah, sweet. No, 100% agree with that one.
Okay, so let's talk like... what are your physical body goals? Like if we're talking like male physique, what is the male physique like goal?
Right now?
Well, I mean right now, but also just like as a male, because I feel like every female pretty much has the same goals, but like males, like what idolize, like visualize for me. I mean, give me a visualization on like the male.
I think it really depends on what your goals are. I think in today's day and age, especially in the fitness industry, there's a lot of blokes trying to achieve different things. For me personally, it's what you would call like a hybrid athlete, where you can still lift heavy weights, but you can also run a marathon. For me, like you just have an overall build that looks good, but you feel strong. But other people are looking for tonality. They're looking to get huge. They want to lift heavy weights. So it really just depends on what your body type is, and then where your goals are going from there. Especially from a fitness industry standpoint. Like if you're looking at a power lifter, most of them are not going to have lean builds. Whereas I would prefer a leaner build simply because I just don't have the goals of being a power lifter. But in order to achieve what a powerlifter wants to achieve, they have to have a different build. 100%. So they need to look bigger, they need to eat more, they need to, pack on more weight, look huge. But for me, like it's not a goal. So it really depends. That's what the powerlifters and the bodybuilders are trying to achieve. And these guys get down to like minimal, but like, so we're talking about bodybuilders here, minimal body fat. They are so lean, but they are again huge. So they have a different goal altogether. So it really just depends. And then you have people like surfers or people who do sports. They have another different build, but it's catered to more athletic
what
build.
They need to achieve from their body.
And
100%.
they have zero interest in for a surfer. I say for the general surfer, zero interest in lifting massive weights. So they're not going to be huge, but they will outsurf you day in, day out.
Fair. See, whereas for females, like, I mean, obviously there's your power lifters and there's your bikini like models and whatever, but like as a generalized statement, I would confidently say that pretty much every female in the gym simply wants to achieve that hourglass figure. Everyone wants the little waist, toned abs, big bum. That's it. Like, you just want everything to be little except for your bum. Everyone just wants
fat ass
and a toned body.
The ones that get
packing.
I reckon, again, it's a tough one for guys, for like general population on what you want to look like. You either have like, you want six pack, you want to have broad shoulders, six pack, or you want a dad bod. But it really depends.
I feel like the dad bods are so out. It is literally 2024. Dad bods are so out. Like, I reckon 3 years ago that was a thing that people like wanted, but like I mean, it's still so socially acceptable because, like, that's the other thing. I'm very mentally now, like, in the last year, my mentality's shifted to be like, okay, it is normal to not be ripped, and it is normal to put on weight when you are 18, 19, 20, because I would consider that, you know, let's go off my topic and my agenda, a third puberty.
A third?
Yep, you go through
How
a
many
third
puberties?
puberty. It's just another puberty.
I can agree with this one, but I wouldn't call it a third puberty. This is one where you mature.
Puberty.
This is going from
Third puberty.
This is going from a young adult into like an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you genuinely see it, like, unless people stay those 7 days a week fucking training insane, like, whatever, everyone pudges out. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
They just get a little pudge.
Little pudge.
Yeah. It's really hard to mentally accept, though, if we're talking mental well-being. Like, 100% I've been there and felt it, where, like, you stop your sport and you stay lean for a few months, because your body's just conditioned to being that way. And obviously you don't put on weight overnight. You're not going to put on weight from one burger. But then over time, after 6 months, you're like, shit, I'm not as fit as I used to be. I'm losing definition, or my tone is leaving the body. And then all of a sudden it's 12 months later and you're like, I do not have the same body that I had a year ago. Like, it's completely different. That's like hard. I think it's so hard to wrap your head around when you're what am I trying to say? I need to try to like word this, because my viewpoint on it is now that, like, that's okay and that's normal. Like, it's so fine. It's
okay to fill out. You're growing.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just like, as a female, like, you're preparing your body within the next 5 years to carry a child. Like,
your body's preparing
your body
yourself.
is one day gonna prepare like a whole nother human being. That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
Like, you can't do that with just skin on your bones. Like, that's insane. But also, like, it's just feeding your body, and if you're not working out 7 days a week like you used to, like, that's fine. Like, that should not be expected of you when you're now an adult and expected to work a full-time job and study at uni and do all this other shit. Like, the motivation's hard to find when you're not mentally all there, but it's taking so much mentally to put on that way. I don't think what I'm saying is making much sense.
Do you think it should be a priority to still, you know, look after your health? So even if you notice, like, say that 6 months has gone by and you notice like I'm not as fit as I used to, should it be a priority for you to kind of be like, okay, I'm not as fit as I used to be, I want to be, do you make the changes?
See, this is where I know this part isn't going to make much sense, but I know that some people are going to know what I'm talking about. So everyone just hear me out, all right? Hear me out.
We are here to listen to you. This is why we have the podcast. Here to listen to Lateah
rambling. Anyway, I think there's this stage where, like, finding the motivation is so hard, and I'm a very, like, self-disciplined person, like, know where I stand, always had my own drive, all of that type of shit. But there's this really weird mental stage when you put that weight on your body and you want to be that fit self again, but you physically can't wrap your head around what it's going to take to get back there. Like, it feels like it never took that much from you to do it, because it was just a social aspect. It was just a part of, like, life. It was a part of your tradition. It was literally your weekly whatever. Like, you were just fit because that's what you did. And then there's this time in this period where you're not doing anything, but it's like, I knew that I wanted it bad enough to do it. Like, I knew that I wanted it, and it was something, and everyone's like, if you want it, you'll do it. And, like, I fucking wanted it, but there was just this period where, like, I couldn't do anything about it. Like, and I don't know, it was just this weird stage of, like, lack of motivation or lack of drive and lack of time and just making excuses. Yeah. But it's like, I know that a lot of people go through that as well.
100%. Even I went through that. Like, after high school finished, for the first year, I didn't do a lot. Like, I was playing social volleyball. I wasn't training. Like, I wasn't pushing myself. I hadn't gone to the gym yet. I hadn't been to a gym by myself at that point in time. It wasn't until I was like, no, like, this isn't what I want. Like, I am so unfit right now. And that's when I started waking up early, going to the gym, making the time for it. It is hard, and I do think everyone kind of goes through it.
Yeah.
Everyone.
See, there's definitely two ways to get out of it. And it's funny that you just said that, because you went the like 0 to 100 method.
Yeah.
Like you literally were like, I am changing. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to prioritize it. I'm going to do it like this. Whereas the way that I got myself around it was like, okay, make it social and make it fun. And so I was like, if I just walk the dog, if I just go on a beach walk, if I just do this, that's better than doing nothing. And so for me, it was more of a fact of like, and my progression was obviously slower and different, but that's the way that I could wrap my head around moving,
being motivated to do it, because you knew yourself, you knew what you liked to do. And then it would also help with like, obviously after you work out, the endorphins are good, like you feel like when you've gotten your day started, something productive has already happened, you feel good about yourself, like, and so then when those endorphins started to hit and I started to understand that, that's what got me in the door to a gym. Like that's when I was able to be like, okay, working out makes me feel good, I'm gonna work out. Like 100%. Working out does make you feel good, but you don't know until you actually get there.
Exactly. And so I think that's also why you go through that stage, because you're like,
I've never done it before. I don't know if it makes me feel good. But then I feel like there are still some people who go to the gym and still don't feel good. They still need to find what they like doing, you know. For example, I have a friend, they went to the gym for a while and they, you know, stuck it out, but then they found, you know, those step classes? You seen those where they like got the little platform?
Bench. Those look fun.
And they love doing that now. And you get, you know, you sweat your ass off
cardio,
there. It is massive cardio, but like they didn't like running, they didn't like doing anything else, they didn't like going to the gym, but they found this one thing of form of exercise that they like doing, and they've been able to stick to it because they like it.
And like I'm falling in love with Pilates, same
and
that's like, that's the other thing. I think you just have to try a bunch of stuff.
Even
like, I am not a runner.
Do
not make me fucking run. I hate running. It was all the childhood trauma. You know what it is? It's Rachel Sherwood and those block runs. It's all your fault.
It's
all your fault, Sherman. It's all your fault. Honestly.
We can blame Rachel for that one. But look, now
I used to be good at running too. Like low key, me and Lauren used to be at the front of those packs. Like I would win block runs, but that's just because I was competitive. Like, did I almost kill myself? Yes, every single time.
Competitive,
but did I lose? Of course not. I couldn't.
There it is again. You realize that you like a social situation where you can beat everybody. I was explaining this to Boston the other day. 100%. I work so much better with anything in a competition. Like I have to make everything in my life a competition. It makes me work. 100%. Like if there's like a benchmark, or like I have this really bad mentality that, well, it's not a bad mentality in situations. It is, if anyone else can do it, I can do it. You can do it.
100%. And so I'm like, literally, if anyone else can like
do this,
if someone would jump off that bridge, like I can fucking do that. Like it's this mentality. It gets me in trouble, but it also gets me out of trouble.
Do you reckon you could have done that K that we did today on the row machine by yourself?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Well, last time when I go in for a cardio day, I mentally wrap my head around 1K on each machine. So I did like 1K. Fuck, I did 1K of those skier things though.
Did you?
That killed me. I had to do it in
hard.
200 or 250 like intervals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a K on the rower, a K on the skier, a K on the... I did 3Ks on the bike because I wasn't touching the Stairmeister. And a K on the treadmill running, K walking, and then... There was one other thing, but like that's what I do for cardio is like give myself like a, you know, I need to be able to like see
what's next.
I'm like a tell me what's coming so I can mentally prepare. I was like that in cheerleading as well. Every lesson I'd walk in, I'd be like, how many baskets today? Because the kick doubles freaked me out towards the end. And so I'd literally walk in and I'd be like, Rachel, how many do you need from me? And she'd be like, oh, well, we're doing like this many full outs and this many reps. So like maybe 8. And I'd be like, 8. Right. I'd get 2 down. I'd be like, 6 more.
Let's go.
6 more.
I think that's another good point though, is going in with a plan. When you are trying to tackle something.
There's so many resources nowadays as well.
So many.
You can search up stuff. You can buy ebooks. You can use resources. You can literally go on TikTok, bro. Search up TikToks and be like lower body workout, and somebody gives it to you. Sets, reps, weights. order, like everything, and they're genuinely good workouts, and they're just there for free. And like when it's your first time going into a gym, they are showing you how to do those exercises, so you can go in and be like, oh, she set it up like this, she looked like this, I need to put my chest here. Like they're so good.
Another good way of getting into the gym is reaching out to like a friend PT,
100%,
like a PT that you know. And being like, hey, look, I'm looking to get into the gym. Can we do? Most of them will do like a free first session.
Even if it's not a PT, I feel like personally,
even just a friend,
like
a friend who goes
like
to the
moral
gym.
support. Yeah, or even get into it with another friend who's not into the gym. But I feel like you just feel a lot less stupid when you're sitting there with someone laughing through the situations, rather than being like, everyone's judging me.
Especially for the first time, especially for the first few times, getting used to the gym. Or getting used to anything, doing it with other people. I also think
the gym that you go to makes a huge difference, because I used to go to World Gym in Malaga, and that's like a bodybuilding gym. Like I don't know how to explain it, but everyone in there, they were like,
they're jacked.
They were hefty. Everyone was making noises when they're lifting, like literally all the time. And so it was dark in there. Like it might be some people's vibe, and some people might like that, but it wasn't my cup of tea, and that's not what I was going to the gym for. I wasn't going to look that big and to carry that big, and like no. And so then I went to Revo, and it's light in there, which like makes me feel better just instantly. Everything's super spread out, so nobody was on top of me when I'm trying to do something. They're like, everyone in Revo gives like normal person trying to reach their goals.
100%. That's like, what Revo's general population. Yeah, which is what I was trying to achieve. And so like it made me feel way more comfortable going in there and being like, okay, I am normal. This is normal. We are normal. And then being we're all in this together, kind of normal. Yeah, 100%.
Literally. And everyone just like minded their own business. And like, I almost felt like on the outskirts at that first gym. Like I was just like not on the same page as everyone else. Yeah. Definitely
got to find it. Find your people, find the right environment to start.
And you can do casual visits. Casual visits,
yeah.
Casual visits.
Say $10.
Yeah,
guest
like
pass,
go test a few in your area, or check out ones with your mates, a couple of different mates.
Yeah, perfect.
That was almost chunk.
That's gross.
Yeah, that one. Wait, that one wasn't nice. Where's my water?
I don't know. Well, we can kind of wrap this up with just one last kind of point. It's just the fact that social media has like such a big impact on why people feel so much pressure.
Massively.
On what they should look like, things that they should eat, things that they should be doing. And it's okay to not have that figured out yet. It's okay to...
Especially in your 20s. Like, I see my mindset, 20s. Like my legit mindset in my 20s is the 20s is for figuring it out. It is for living. Like, you are supposed to experience things. You shouldn't be counting every calorie. You shouldn't be...
Unless that's your goal. Unless it's your goal. If you got 20-year-olds who are trying to reach that, like they're trying to do body comps, they're trying to do bodybuilding, like there are in that fitness industry, yes, but for the general population, it just relax. You got it.
Yeah, like you can go out and get a damn burger with your friends.
Yeah, like, enjoy yourself, and then find the balance between looking after yourself and enjoying yourself.
Literally,
there has to be.
Social media is so hard. Hard. I feel like, especially for females. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the fitness industry for males and females is like actually quite different, just in my opinion.
Okay.
But I definitely see the connection between male and female, and I know there's like...
I reckon there's definitely an overarching stigma of where because social media, all it is showing you what you...
Everyone's best.
Showing you what you don't have. It's really good at showing you what you don't have, and that's why your Instagram, TikTok,
everyone
social
just puts
media...
their best foot forwards.
Yeah,
and that's understandable. Like, we all do the same shit. My Instagram feed, like, there is 100%, 90% of my camera roll I would never put on my main Instagram.
No, we wouldn't want that.
Not a fucking chance. But at the same time,
that's what
you still look at somebody else's things and you're like, fuck, why don't I look like that?
Why don't I look like that? Why don't I have those things? And then you feel yucky, but then you keep scrolling and then you get that dopamine hit, and it's an endless cycle. Yeah. But it's okay to not be like that. Set your own goals, set what you want, figure that out, and just start working.
And everybody is just so different. Like, that's another thing that I've figured out in this, like, coming to an older age. Like, so much comes into it, like genetics, metabolism, active lifestyles, your job, like whether your job is on your feet or sitting behind a desk. Huge difference to how many steps you're going to fit into a day.
Yeah.
Like,
and you got to figure that stuff
all
out.
of those things. Yeah, the meals you're eating, but not just the meals. It's like literally the oil that you use, how much salt and how much flavor is in that meal, like what's your serving size, like blah blah blah. And so it's, you can literally be like, but I'm eating healthy and blah, blah and all this shit, but if you put your chicken in a layer of oil, like that meal's no longer healthy. And that's the type of thing that I'm like, I don't want to overthink about that shit. I want to eat good tasting food that fuels my body to do what I need it to do, because the body, like, you need to be
enjoying your food.
I want to be enjoying my food, but I also want it to be fueling its purpose. Like, I want it to give me energy. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to, you know.
So when you say that, I was working with Jordan, one of the PTs, and he was saying he was talking to his mates about, well, his mates that are doing bodybuilding, and one of them was a chef, and he assumed that he was just making great meals while he was trying to prep, but then he was like, nah, I don't actually make, you know, real tasty flavor food. It's literally just salt, pepper, chicken, air fryer, rice. That's all they ate. And that's all he would do. He's a chef, he can cook, but all he was on the prep, salt, pepper, chicken,
that's literally all they're allowed. And then, like, my friend had like roast pumpkin, not like roasted, I but
could
like
not do that.
I think it was like boiled pumpkin as one of her meals. It was literally just chicken and boiled pumpkin. Or like push out your cheeks when you say it. Pumpkin.
Anyway,
pumpkin.
Is there anything else you want to add to that? No.
Just like, it's
okay to go through the changes, and it's okay to not have it all figured out, but that's what we're here for, to figure it out. And your body
fluctuates, it really does. Like, go through your mum's old photos. Like, I've looked at photos of my mum from being like 20 to then 25 to then 27 to then 29 to then even looking at her now, and I'm like, fuck, like, it literally is like this. And I'm like, okay, when I think about it and I think about the path that I'm on, I'm like, probably gonna happen. And that is so okay. Like, that is so normal. And nobody, like, there's that one quote on TikTok. Actually, you know what? There's two that I fucking love. Don't look at me like that.
You're rambling. All right, what are these quotes? Give me my hat back.
You can have my sunnies. There we go.
What are the two quotes, darling?
One of them, I think I've made a TikTok to before, but it's like Sophia something. She was a dancer on like Dance Moms years ago, but she was like, the thing with social media is like, people love to remind me of how successful I was, but I will never be that girl again. I will never be as skinny. I will never be as good. I will never be less talented. And like, that's a huge thing for people who were successful in their sports. Like, it doesn't mean that your prime and your happiness has come to, you know, you haven't passed that phase, but you're just not in that stage anymore. Like, and that's fine. But then the other one is, have you ever heard the one where it's like, I've never like seen somebody's body in a pool and remembered it for more than 20 minutes. I've never seen a boy that was so cute at the airport that I've thought about him twice. I've never blah, blah, blah. And it was just saying all these things that, like, when you think about it and you're in a situation and you're so uncomfortable about what other people are thinking and what other people might be saying or what you might look like, and then you think about it and you're like, I've never thought back to somebody's body and genuinely thought about it twice, regardless of what I thought about it for that split second. And it was kind of like take a step back.
No one's
take a step back. Is it really going to matter in more than fucking, if it's not going to matter in 5 years? Is that the other quote? I'm like quoting.
You're quoting everything today.
I'm quoting. But there's that one that's like, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, why the fuck worry about it for more than 5 minutes?
Yep. I like that one too.
I like them all.
That's a good quote. Well,
ew, I look bold. Why didn't you tell me I look bold?
Well, I don't know.
Ew, Sunny's back.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to this pod. It's been a pleasure. Been a good chat today. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye.